Programmer access to the computer areas. When the external programmer wants to put information into the computer, he opens up the various rooms, areas or programs so to speak, and then the internal programmers take over. The storyline used to build in access to the computer is the King's Chamber story in Alice in Wonderland. The king comes to the chamber and he has the right to make 3 wishes, the 3-part access code. If he doesn't make 3 wishes, everything disappears like in the Alice in Wonderland story. 3-part access codes are usually date, color, alphanumeric code. But they could be 3 objects within the room, or they could be a sound, a touch, and a third sight signal. Generally, the Illuminati have used the actual date that an altar, a part, or a family of altars was created as the actual code for that chamber of the computer. That chamber will then be linked to all the altars of that family. So let's say a family of altars was created on April 30th, 64. This would normally be written on the charts American Samoa 43064, or because the Illuminati often work with things backward, some programmers will write it 46,034. Whichever method, forward or backwards, will then be used consistently as the first part of the access to that family's computer chamber. There are 26 rooms in the dollhouse, or in other words, 13 families of altars on a grid with 13 mirror images to mirror those 13. This was very standard for years. When the programmer places the information in, it is put on a mental imaginary computer disk, or in the older models, spools. The reader needs to remember back to the hypnotic surgery that we discussed in the illustrated guidebook and the volume 2 book, to remember that the victim has their insides hypnotically removed and the spools or computer disks placed inside of them. Let's say a therapist touches one of the misinformation computers, which are the most accessible. These computers will then activate mirror images and lots of demonic activity. The therapist may end up integrating demons, and working with constructs and mirror images, and the proper excitement by the real altars is even programmed in. These are what may be termed false hope programs. The system will rest and relax and the therapist will declare everything finished. For years, the 2 authors have tried to explain this, but it seems to be a hard subject for therapists to understand. Finally, a very important warning: tampering with the computers is serious business. From the company author's experience in working with therapists, we strongly advise them not to tamper with the computers, because the self-destruct programs are so strong. The self-destruct programs will turn the person into a vegetable, or into pure insanity if the victim survives the suicide programs. The skill level among the therapeutic community is not yet at the level needed to tamper with the computers, but we hope with the publication of this book and with more experience that will someday become a reality. This author, Fritz, is aware of therapists that have tried to tamper with the computers, but the programming has beaten both them and this author. For instance, it took lots of work to discover that this author's week of work with a front computer actually was only playing with a misinformation computer and its false hope programs. See Internal Hierarchies Overview. The internal structuring of altar systems are built with altars being arranged in hierarchies. Often the hierarchical arrangement is a mirror of the group carrying out the programming. The CIA and other intelligence groups use sections. You will find the grids of altars arranged in sections. The Illuminati have a Grand Druid Council and other councils, which will be mirrored within the system. Altar families will be set up as many covens within the system, often with 13 to an altar families. Hubs will be created in reflection of how satanic groups are organized into hubs.